Hello there, and welcome to a special Unlocking the Holocron, our smaller bite-sized videos where we go deep dive into a single topic about Star Wars. Joining me today, as always, the Sith Holocron Dan.
I'm not here.
Okay, along with me,
Yes.
the Jedi Holocron Tyler. Today's topic, fan service versus plot. We are talking about this because of
a Mando season
Season 2 discussion. One of the hot topics with the finale was, is this fan service? Does it serve the character? Does it serve the plot? Or are they just doing this to please the fans?
Well, not just the finale.
Just Mando in general?
It was the whole season.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair, yeah.
That was what I was more thinking of Ahsoka.
No, see, I was thinking about spoilers for Mando Season 2, if you're watching this video.
Yeah.
Spoilers for all Star Wars, if you're watching this video.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, that's interesting, because I never thought about Ahsoka in that way.
Well, people have the fan service argument for literally any named character that showed up, to be honest. Like, that we had met before.
Mm-hmm.
Luke is the interesting one, though, because that one is at least, like, I guess the closest to being fan service.
Yeah.
You know what? I wanted to start this right off the top. I feel like the when people say that Mando Season 2 has too much fan service, I feel like they don't actually know what fan service means.
Yeah, I was going to say, let's start out with... I want to ask you this question first. Is fan service to you necessarily a bad thing?
No.
Exactly. Yeah, that's part of the thing. Fan service is a thing that happens. It is not necessarily bad. It's how they do it.
It's bad if there's too much.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. In my eyes, fan service has always been a deep cut or something to hardcore fans that does not serve the story.
Or the character. Yeah.
Everything in Mando Season 2, though, serves the story and the characters.
Yeah, for sure.
So I don't see any of it as fan service.
It's not fan service, but it's not the fan service in the way they're using it as. You know what I mean?
But that's what I'm saying. Like
obviously, the fans wanted to see the end of Season 2 Luke kick ass for
But
that's not fan service because that's who he was during that time period.
So that's what I mean. I don't think any of it's really fan service in that regard. That's just it's part of the story. It's not.
I think fan service and servicing the fans too are kind of different things.
Yeah.
Like the way people... It's the problem. The problem with the term fan service is the way it's used these days.
Yeah. Because I feel like fan service inherently implies that it doesn't further the plot. I mean, it doesn't make... not that it doesn't make sense, but that it, it's there for no reason other than just to, make people happy.
Yeah. For sure. Especially, fan service we see in Rogue One.
Yes.
R2-D2, chin ball guy. Whatever his name.
Chin ball.
Yeah, ball
scrotum
chin guy.
Face.
Even
And I personally don't have a problem with it in Rogue One.
Honestly, Vader's kind of fan service. As it's just a cool fight scene. It doesn't serve the story. It comes in the last 2 seconds.
Yeah,
but that's good fan service.
Yeah, I was gonna say that I would consider fan service, but also that's in my top 5 favorite Star Wars moments ever.
Yeah, and it makes sense that he was there.
Yeah,
but it wasn't necessary in any way.
It doesn't further the story in any way, so it's really fan service. But that's in my top 5 favorite Star Wars moments ever.
There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah,
So fan service isn't inherently bad, and also I just don't think anything in Mando Season 2 is.
See,
at least none of the major things that people talk about.
If you've watched Filoni's work enough, you know he uses his...
It's connected.
Yeah, he literally... You haven't watched it yet, but the first episode of The Mandalorian Gallery for Season 2, he talks about how he couldn't bring... he wanted to, but he couldn't bring Ahsoka in right away. In Season 1. Because, you have to set up your new characters. You have to set up the thing. And
I think that was smart.
Yeah. And obviously...
I think putting her in Season 1 would have been a little too soon, personally.
And with Boba Fett, it's impossible to be fan service because he was never a character.
In the movies.
And now...
We have to clarify, we don't read the comics yet.
And the fact, at least the Boba Fett comics, and then they're setting up him for another show.
Yeah.
So obviously it wasn't fan service. These were more
pilots.
These were more critical. If I were to criticize those two people being in the show, but I don't think I think they were both done very well. Is they were backdoor pilots, if anything.
Yes,
but that's not a problem because they served the story.
Yeah,
especially Ahsoka more than. Boba.
That's what it all comes down to, is that they serve the story.
Right, like how else would we know Grogu's name?
Like, and my thought process is also like, so let's jump into each character specifically.
Okay.
Let's start with Ahsoka, since we were talking about her already.
Yeah.
So let's say, if you wanted it to be like someone new or whatever.
Yeah.
You're saying that you want it to be another Jedi that we haven't heard of before, that survived Order 66, the Inquisitors, Vader,
right,
all of the Empire, all the way until now, and we've never heard of them before.
And you want them to give us Grogu's name and to reject the idea of having him, because he inevitably ends up with Luke.
Well, at the time, they didn't know where Grogu was going. Most of these complaints were when that episode first came out. So ignoring the future parts.
Well, yeah, ignoring the future parts, yeah.
They're just talking about, like, of the time of, like, as of the episode we saw Ahsoka.
Yeah. But also, like, yeah.
And also, I'm pretty sure a lot of people were content not even knowing his name to begin with.
Yeah, a lot of people weren't, but...
Yeah.
I wanted to know.
Well, yeah, we wanted to know, but I'm just saying, I don't think that was a major...
But see, I think we have to look at it both ways, though, in the service of the season and in the service of that.
But I'm just specifically
episode.
Talking about, like, their argument was more... I don't know why I keep saying their argument, but, like, the arguments I saw online were more, it was at that time.
Yeah.
So it was before they knew it was leading to Luke.
Yeah.
But it's also, like...
But we knew it was leading to a Jedi, though.
Yeah, and that's the thing, like, there aren't many Jedi.
That we know of. It would have been cool to meet a new one, but, like...
It's a little...
It's also kind of like... It also serves the story in a way that... See, I have to look at this big picture. It's hard for me to look at this without the knowledge I already have of how it ends. But knowing we go to Luke, and the fact that those two still exist in this universe with so few Jedi, and they still fail to have reached each other in any way, I think that's an interesting part of the dynamic of the storytelling, too.
Yeah.
And, like... Obviously, like we said, he ends up with Luke, and I just feel like it's more impactful coming from Ahsoka, because she was inherently not someone who would train, like, who left the Jedi, and she's like, this is not, and knowing
this is not the way.
This is not the way, and knowing her experience with the Jedi, she's like,
yeah,
using her past experience and knowledge of the Jedi and her life experience, she's like, I can't do this because I saw what happens when it goes bad, and also this now I'm they didn't address it, but also like I'm doing different shit right now.
Yeah. Also, I'm going after the smartest man in the galaxy.
Right.
Yeah, that also helps as like just further explaining like why they wouldn't take Baby Yoda.
Yeah.
Because, like, again, looking at it just from that episode alone, like, without the episodes after, if we're thinking, like, he goes to find a Jedi, and the Jedi turns him away, you gotta try, if it's a new person, you gotta try and think, why the fuck would they turn him away?
Right.
Ahsoka makes sense that she would turn him away.
We know why she would do it.
She's not even a Jedi.
She has multiple reasons to...
She's not even a Jedi anymore. Yeah.
It's interesting, too, but she, like... We know she's not a Jedi, and she doesn't consider herself a Jedi, but if you look at, if in that world, in the world of Star Wars, if you see a lightsaber, you're like, oh, that's a Jedi. So even though, like, it's like, oh, she's not a Jedi anymore, she wouldn't, like, follow Jedi rules or think like a Jedi, but, like, she has that Jedi experience, and also, like, anyone in that world thinks she's a Jedi.
It's just easier to not bother correcting people constantly in her perspective, I'm sure.
Yeah. Especially when Bo-Katan, her friend who knows, is like, go to her.
Yeah, that's the other thing also, is like, if you've met Bo beforehand, who else is Bo gonna help him find, Right. Like, his whole plan of, like, maybe the Mandos can help you find a Jedi. How? Like, I get, he has nowhere else to go and no other way to find a Jedi. But just thinking of it, if it's not for Bo-Katan knowing Ahsoka, how the fuck would a Mandalorian help?
Right. Especially because... Like, yeah, who could he, especially as a Mandalorian in this world, who could he trust to not, and to be like, I need to find a Jedi, because as we've learned, everyone's after his armor, everyone's trying to get his shit, and he's trying to protect this kid, but...
Stop tapping the table.
Sorry. And he's trying to get this kid, Shit, you made me lose my train of thought.
Sorry, you were tapping a lot.
He's trying to get this kid
safe.
Who are you going to use to, at first, like, the safest way? You're going to go talk to some Mandalorians who inherently would have your back.
Yeah.
And that would lead to Bo, and that would lead to Ahsoka. Because that all makes sense.
Yeah. And also, I don't even think it's worth... I don't think anyone even thought of it as fan service regardless anyway, but Bo isn't even worth mentioning because she fits in too well with the plot.
Yeah.
Darksaber. That's all you need.
That's all you need, yeah.
I think we covered it pretty much for Ahsoka, though.
Yeah.
So, let's move to Boba.
Yeah.
The Boba Fett. Again, we don't read the Boba comics. There are canon ones, right?
Yeah.
We haven't read them, so to us, Boba Fett wasn't a character.
Yes. I don't see Boba Fett as an actual character. I see him as a cool suit.
Yeah.
Who got pwned out by Luke.
He got pwned out by blind Han.
Yeah, he got pwned out by himself.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
So to us, he wasn't a character to begin with. And also, it's like, at the same time, I feel like it's... Because it is the same thing where it's like, it's very similar to Phasma, where it's like, it's just kind of a waste of a character.
Yeah.
See, to not bring him back to at least do something.
The one thing I would understand about the argument of using Boba as fan service at this point is because from the whole season, we still don't we don't know how he got out.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll explore that in the book
I'm sure it's going to be in the book of Boba Fett.
But also, like...
Someone will find him and be like, how the fuck are you alive?
He also gives us a vessel to explore Fennec, too, so...
Yeah.
I don't... Like, bringing him back isn't inherently fan service.
Yeah, it's more of just finally getting to use a character that a lot of people liked, but never got to do anything in the movies. In the televised format. Mm-hmm. He only gets to do stuff in the comics.
Yeah.
Which... less people read than watch the shows and read the movies.
And honestly, too...
read the movies, watch the movies.
And honestly, if we would have got a Boba Fett movie, it would have been way more fan servicing than what we got in the show.
Yes. It feels a lot more natural.
Yeah.
And also, it's like, again, coming back to where it's like, it is The Mandalorian, so it makes sense that there would be Mandalorians involved.
Yeah.
You know, like, him and Bo were, like, two of the more well-known Mandalorians.
Mm-hmm. See, that's two. We got confirmation that he is a foundling.
Yeah, we finally got confirmation that Jango was, in fact, a Mandalorian.
We got the canon question to the lifelong question, are they actually Mandalorians?
For those who didn't know, in canon, it was never 100% specified whether Boba and Jango counted as Mandos.
Yeah.
The only time it was ever addressed in canon was in the Clone Wars. Obi-Wan asks, what the fuck? Big neck guy. I don't remember his fucking name.
Like fat neck or like long neck people on Naboo?
No, he was a Mandalorian. He was the trader guy. Not Pre-Vizsla. He was like the chairman or whatever, and he just had a really thick neck.
Yeah.
And he asked him about Jango, and he was like, Jango was just a pretender, but he was also a terrorist traitor, so it's like, he's not really believable.
Yeah.
So they never addressed it. Mm-hmm. Otherwise,
right?
Because the Fett clan isn't like a Mandalorian clan.
Oh yeah.
But this show introduced the idea of foundlings, so it worked out perfectly for him. So it was cool to get that confirmation.
Yeah, for sure.
And also just to see like where like the adventures of the traveling armor.
Right, and it gave us like Cobb Vanth, which was cool, who was a canon character, but I knew nothing about him.
Yeah, like I wouldn't even consider like book characters like that fan service because like so much fewer people.
It's not fan service because they already existed and no one knew about them, so they're just bringing in someone new. Like no matter what, no matter if they don't show him or not, he had his armor at some point, you know.
Yeah. It's also just like exposing more characters from like the lesser.
Which I like.
Not like the lesser consumed media is what I was trying to say. I was trying to think of like how to phrase it.
Honestly, and I want more of him. I fucking loved Cobb.
Yeah, Cobb Vanth is great.
Yeah.
So
anything else to say on Boba? I'm trying to think of like what some of the people like arguments to use like for and against. Like I feel like I said, I don't feel like any of these are inherently fan service. I feel like we'll get to this when we get to Luke, but I feel like some have the potential to turn out in the long run fan servicey, depending on how they do things. But
as of right now, I feel like they've all served the story.
Yeah.
So like, but I guess some of them could end up being fan servicey by the end, depending on how they execute it.
Yeah.
But I have no reason to doubt him now.
No. So, on to Luke then.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything else to discuss with Bobby.
And, yeah, sorry, my phone was going off. But,
Unprofessional.
Fuck me, man. No, but,
That's consent.
Luke.
Lukey boy. This one I think is potentially the closest to fan service. But also, he's in the last episode and we don't know where that storyline's going from here.
Yeah.
If the storyline, like, is done poorly, this could be considered fan service.
In the long run. That's what I was saying. I don't feel like it is because a Jedi was coming. We don't know a lot of Jedi. It makes sense he would...
And who's the only person we know who's trying to revive the Jedi?
Who's actively looking for them.
Yeah.
Right? So it makes sense. And honestly, it was cool seeing him do the action scene, like I said. But he was part of the story, though. It made more sense. Like, he served the story more than Vader did in Rogue One.
Yeah.
Right? And, like...
Still like the Vader scene better, personally.
Oh, yeah. Me too. But, yeah. But, like, this is the one that's, like, fuzzy because we don't know what happens with Grogu.
Yeah.
And Mandalorian's still gonna go, and I see him inevitably coming back. But also, I feel like no matter what happens, I feel like this is gonna serve his character in The Last Jedi, too. And, like, as he goes on...
That'll be a different video where we talk about Mando's effects on sequel movies.
Yeah. But it's like, we know, obviously now it has an effect on it, but we don't know to what extent or like what it could be. But
yeah, like it's similar to, it's a similar point to our Ahsoka point where it's like, really, who else is going to show up?
Ezra? That doesn't serve the story as much.
That would be more fan service-y.
That's detrimental to the story. To detrimental to Ezra's story.
Yeah, because we don't know what happened after Rebels yet.
Right.
That story hasn't been finished yet. So if he were to come back here, I'd actually be kind of upset.
Yeah.
I'd be like, I wanted to see them find him before this.
And honestly, him taking Grogu serves the story of Din.
Yes.
Very much.
The, like,
which will
separation.
Be interesting to see in season 3 what they do.
And it's also like, you know... It's the same thing like I said a couple minutes ago. Who else is trying to rebuild the Jedi? No one.
Cal Kestis. No.
That would also hurt his story, though, too.
We don't know where...
The game takes place, like, right after Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah,
or not right after, but a couple of years after Revenge of the Sith. Mm-hmm. That'd be harmful to his story, too, if Cal just showed up out of nowhere.
Right.
What the fuck you been doing, dude?
I honestly think 8-year-old Ben should have shown up and, like, my dad taught me to shoot a gun, but he's not around very much, so I have a lightsaber now.
My dad. So it's like Luke's really the only one who it doesn't like hurt his story to show up.
Yeah,
that we know of, unless they were to do a new Jedi, which I feel like would be weird.
See, the problem, like we like Luke's arc in The Last Jedi.
Yeah,
I feel like this will only serve the people who doesn't like it.
Sudden,
you know what I mean?
Off. I would just say that every time we say we like Luke.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like...
No, but that's the thing, though, is I feel like this helps it, though, because we're seeing Luke in, like... It helps, like, the dichotomy between him and Ahsoka. Like, Ahsoka actually thought about it. Luke just showed up, kicked ass, and was like, okay, I'll train you.
Yeah, which he was always like...
He didn't have the forethought, and that's gonna end up fucking him in the end.
Yeah.
Which is how he gets to where he is in Last Jedi.
Yeah, what does Yoda say to him? Like, eyes always
Your eyes are always on the horizon, never on where you are, what you're doing.
Yeah.
And he hits him with a cane.
Yeah.
Yeah, it very much... I think this very much lends to his Last Jedi arc.
Yeah, and then
his, like, impulsiveness here, and, like, his, like... Alright, we're back.
Yeah, sorry, we had a
little technical difficulties.
Yeah. What were you saying, though, Dan?
Luke, like, this, like, shows, like, Luke's, like, his impulsiveness. Yeah. This is kind of similar to... Because this is very similar to when the Jedi agreed to train Anakin.
Yeah.
A person who's already formed strong attachments.
Right.
So I feel like this helps lend to his Last Jedi arc.
Yeah.
A lot.
And this shows him not fully learning from Yoda.
Yeah. Well, to be fair...
we don't know what's happening. He just sees a Jedi, he's going to reach out and get it.
But that's part of the problem, is what I'm saying.
So do you think this is kind of off topic, but are we going to see Grogu in season 3?
That's way off topic.
Okay. No, but wouldn't it be cool if we saw a little, like, at the end of every episode, we got to check in with Luke and Grogu?
That'd be cool.
Okay. Yeah.
I lost my train of thought because you veered me off of it.
Yeah, well, we got veered off for other reasons, too.
Well, yeah. But yeah, it's like... I don't know. It is, I think a lot of people don't realize how close this is to Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
And so that's why he's the same Luke.
Yeah, there's gonna
between
this
this'll
and
be,
between however his interactions with Ahsoka go is gonna lead him to the Last Jedi Luke that he is, and that makes perfect sense.
Again, this will be part of a different video where we talk about Mando and the sequels, but because a lot of people are like, this is the same, this is the right Luke, and this is why they're getting rid of the sequels. Well, this is still like 24 years before Force Awakens.
Yeah, he literally...
There's over 2 decades before then.
And I'm sure... How long between when the Ben moment?
We don't know.
Literally, that's the moment where everything changes. It all the culmination of all the failures from end of Return of the Jedi to that moment just culminate in that moment.
I mean, based on the flashbacks, he looks pretty old in the Ben moment.
Yeah.
And he is looking exactly like he did in Return of the Jedi here. So we are still far off. Especially because Ben's like 6 at this point.
Yeah, we're like 20 years off.
We're like 24 years off.
Yeah.
Like almost, I think it's something like that. So we are over 2 full decades away.
Mm-hmm.
And so of course he would be exactly the same as he was in Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
Or like he'd be like at his most pure Jedi form.
Yeah.
Because this is before he's been destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
So, but Luke is the one I could see being fan servicey again if they don't handle it right.
If they don't handle it right. Like, honestly, if it turn out that Ben just killed Grogu, I'm like, what?
They're not that dumb.
Yeah, and we're going to see Grogu and Mando again.
Yeah. They're not that dumb to just write Grogu off and then have him die.
Right, yeah. There's no way.
Not a chance in hell.
But it feels like we're leading to something big there, and honestly, Luke might be involved.
Yeah.
Because, like...
I could see it.
With all the new shows and stuff, they're like, we're building... That all take place during the Mandalorian timeline. Like, they're building to something.
That's another thing.
It depends what it is. And honestly, I don't know what it is.
You know what I find interesting with this whole fan service argument in general? I feel like a lot of people...
It's the same people who are mad that they didn't get service in The Last Jedi.
That. But also, like, I don't see what's wrong with things being connective.
No, there's nothing. That's good.
That's a good thing.
That's why we love the MCU. That's this weird double standard that Star Wars fans are kind of broken in the brain sometimes.
The fandom menace.
The fandom menace, because, like, they get
We're not talking about good Star Wars fans. We're talking about the fandom menace.
They get mad about things like The Last Jedi or whatever, but, like... They're mad because they wanted to see the exact same person we saw in the last one, but that doesn't serve the story of Luke. That doesn't serve the story of Rey. That doesn't serve the story of Ben. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then when they do fan service, like at The Force Awakens, I don't think that The Force Awakens is fan service, but that's the most like familiar Star Wars.
Yeah.
They're like too familiar. What do you want? You don't want fan service. You don't want everything to be exactly the same. What do you want?
You don't want it to be different.
That's the problem. I don't even know if it's necessarily only Last Jedi fans, but like the two things want different things, and they get mad when the other thing happens. We're like, we can have both.
I hate all the table noises you're making in this video, man.
Sorry.
I have to address it. Yeah, like...
I'm a visual talker.
And it's also just like I was saying with the whole connective thing, it's like, that's good both in the way of just, it makes the world feel more actually connected.
And fleshed out and lived in.
And also, yeah, fleshed out and lived in, and like, it rewards you for being a more hardcore fan. Yeah. And also, it's how they get people more into everything.
Right? We gotta sell toys.
And also, we gotta sell the books, the comics, the other shows that more people didn't watch.
Like, I was never I gotta read the Aftermath books. I'm like, I'll get to them at some point. But after seeing Cobb Vanth, I'm like, I kind of want to read the Aftermath books.
Exactly. And for some people, it goes as far as they've never watched Clone Wars or anything, and then they see they see Maul in Solo and Ahsoka in Mando, and maybe they're interested now. Now you've got another fan who's watching more stuff,
and little they know that they're about to watch the best Star Wars has to offer.
That's why I don't understand, what's wrong with them being connected.
Especially because Filoni's a student of George Lucas, and George Lucas, he talks to George.
Yeah. George was on set for the Ahsoka episode.
Yeah. And, And Favreau's one of the good ones, too, now. He knows what's up. He was on Clone Wars. It was funny in the behind the scenes. He was talking to Bo-Katan, but in the episode, he's like, "Hey, we used to be Mandalorians together. Now we're both doing a live action show."
Because he played Pre Vizsla.
Yeah,
for so like, didn't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's just funny to me that like some people were upset about things being connective.
I feel like it's part of.
And I feel like that's just a positive.
Toxic Star Wars in general, though.
The fandom
because
menace.
like I feel like between DC, Marvel, and Star Wars, and like all the big franchises, like we all hold them to such dear, like weird, different standards. Of storytelling. Like Marvel is like connected, and like that's what we want from it. Like why wouldn't we want that from Star Wars?
Well, the thing is that it is two different groups of people.
Yeah.
To play devil's advocate, it is two different groups of people who are obviously looking for two different things. But that's really the only defense I have.
Aren't we all looking for compelling characters and well-told stories, though, at the end of the day?
And also, like, it's the same thing of, like, another thought for, like, more related to the Ahsoka thing of, like, explaining how a Jedi, like, wouldn't want to help Grogu. If they were to do a different Jedi, they'd have to spend time explaining why that Jedi doesn't want to help. We have 8 episodes in a season. We don't have time to waste explaining why a Jedi doesn't want to help.
And we see Ahsoka and we're like, we have 7 seasons of television that explain, 11 seasons of television if you count her appearances in Rebels. She's not in all of them, you know what I mean? But like, explaining, plus the
we have plenty of time
to understand why everything happens, and she doesn't need to be over-explained with.
Yeah.
I forgot what they call the dialogue, the exposition.
Yeah, they don't need to exposit as much.
Yeah.
And it just makes the actual story move better. Because if we're wasting all that time explaining everything, like that whole Ahsoka episode, if it was someone else that we like didn't know, a new character, they'd have to spend over half the episode explaining why they wouldn't want to help.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But
yeah, Ahsoka, sure, yeah.
With the
verdict's in, Dan. Ahsoka, not fan service. Boba, not fan service. Luke, maybe. Too early to tell, but as of this moment, I'd say no.
Yes, as of this moment, I'd say no for Luke, but that
has
opinion
the potential
could change.
To be.
But Ahsoka, Boba, I would say confirmed, not fan service. They serve the story.
You want to talk about fan service, Dan? Let's talk about
Buttface in Rogue One.
Let's talk about for some reason Maz Kanata giving Chewie Leia's medal. That doesn't serve the story. It was a cool moment, but like
I like that moment.
Well, I like the moment too, but it's kind of weird, you know. No, see, this is my favorite one. I don't want to get into this because I know you disagree with me, but Luke lifting the X-wing in Rise of Skywalker. Yeah, cool moment, but it's rehashing story beats we've already had.
But I like that.
Oh yeah, I know it's a cool moment, but like it's already rehashing story beats. But
I would say it's more completing his story beat because we never saw him complete that.
Yeah, for him, but for Rey, we're covering the same story beat she already did.
Well, the thing is, she didn't try to lift it.
No, that moment though where they talk like is already something Rey.
Oh, you're talking about the talking. I thought you were talking about lifting the X-wing.
No, I'm talking about like that moment of why he's like there, and yeah, just.
But yeah, that's we're not going to get into that. But that's a different topic.
Yeah.
But I think we pretty much got it covered.
Fan service, not a bad thing. Can be, but if not used well. And also, like, fan service is good sometimes, but you don't want it all the time.
And also, I still don't think most of this is fan service anyway.
Yeah. It's only fan service to them because the fans are happy and they're like, whoa, that can't be. It's Star Wars.
We gotta be mad.
Gotta be mad about everything. About everything.
Yeah, that actually perfectly summarizes...
That's internet culture in general. I learned that after Wonder Woman 88. It's either the best movie ever or the worst movie ever. That's everything. Okay. Yeah. So, yeah.
Let's get out of here.
Let's get out of here. We got some Office to finish before it comes offline. Forever Netflix. And until next time, I hope you enjoyed this. Baby Grogu.